All right guys, welcome to the Manual Summer Series and welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. But we're not just going to be in the Regal Gentleman Studio, we're also going to be filming outside in the British summer in different cities and different locations. Welcome to the Manual Summer Series. This series is made possible by our sponsor, Manual. Today we're at Fight Zone, one of London's biggest martial arts schools. We're going to be meeting some of the members, watching a class and talking to them about hair loss. And then we're going to be taking them back to our studio and talking to them a little bit more about their own personal hair loss stories. So today we're meeting two of the members, Benedict and Johan. So come with me, let's go and have a chat with them. Right guys, so first up is Benedict. He's a member here at Fight Zone. We're going to have a little chat to him about his hair loss. Hi Ben, how are you? Good man, good to meet you. Good to meet you. So Benedict, tell me about your hair loss. What's been your experience?
I think I've got a classic boy excuse of not really knowing what to do too well, like using 2-in-1 shampoos for too long, not really giving it too much care or thought, to be honest, letting it grow wild. Spent some time abroad in South America and I let my hair grow and I thought it'd be really easy to put it into dreadlocks. It did more damage than good because I didn't care as much as I thought it needed. Turns out it needs quite a lot of care when it comes to cleaning and etc. So I guess I didn't really give my hair too much respect or too much thought, but now that I'm starting to feel it getting a little bit thinner, starting to catch myself in the mirror every now and then, now I'm thinking about what is it I need to do to kind of resurrect that and make those improvements.
Okay, it sounds like a classic case of prevention over cure is what we need to do, but you're at the point of the cure before the prevention.
Still a cure,
yeah, we can definitely do that. I think what we're probably best doing is coming over to the studio and having a proper in-depth chat and see what we can do. Johan's in a class now, we're going to go and watch him in this class. Come with me. We're going to meet Benedict and Johan back at the studio. Come on in, Benedict. You're very welcome, man. Jump on. Good to go, Ben? Yeah. Ben or Benedict?
Whatever you want. It's Benedict.
I'm probably going to say Ben because I'm Scouse and I just abbreviate everything. So is that all right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, thanks Ben. Thanks for having this chat, and obviously we appreciate you coming in. So tell me a little bit more about your hair loss. And obviously we spoke about it over at Fight Zone about what you've not done.
Yeah.
So what is it you'd like to do, and what is it what would be like in an ideal world? What would you like to have, and what would you like to walk out of here with?
I'm hoping by today I'll be able to come out here looking a little bit smarter and a little bit less rough around the edges as I do now.
Okay.
When I submitted a picture, I said I wanted to look a little bit like Brad Pitt's haircut, and when you said yeah, come in, I thought why not? Let's see.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see what you can do. But what I'm hoping to do initially, so for a long time I used to wear my hair up. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I think the hair suffered at the front was because I pull it back quite intensely and probably wear it up consistently. Yeah. So this was all would be shaved as well down to a 1 or potentially a 0. Mm-hmm. So this has been trying to grow back out for maybe about 8 or 9 months.
Oh, so you've been growing the undercut out?
Yeah, and now obviously I feel like they're at completely different stages and I'm hoping I can get some kind of harmony going on there.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. So talking about the length you've got now, because obviously we need to maintain a lot of length on top. If we're going to marry the sides and the back end, we still need to work with the top, right? Now, yeah, I think you might be right at what you've been doing where you've been pulling it back intensely because it looks like you've got a lot of breakage just on this bit here. And the breakage obviously doesn't help because it almost makes it look like you've got more recession than you probably have because again, it's the same old thing when you pull on something for so much, it just snaps in the end, right? And especially if you're not looking after it, you haven't been paying attention to it as well as you should do. Yeah. It'd be interesting to know how you dry your hair off, but I'll ask you that in a little bit, but I'd imagine you just do this with a towel. Yeah? Okay. Now, it's very flat at the moment. It's purely because of the length as well. The texture of the hair, but also you have got that undercut going on there, so you've got a lot of weight and it just dominoes down, basically. I'd just like to know and understand with your hairline, are you bothered about your hairline? Does it, I mean, obviously, because you're pulling it back so often, you're obviously exposing it. So is it something that you're not particularly too worried about, or would you like to try?
It's a bit of both. I'd like to think, obviously I do get, self-conscious about it. Obviously I do look at it like that sometimes or every day. And so I've quad it in, you know, virtual meetings, and I've looked down and looked up and I've seen it there, and I thought, that's, you know, that's not a good look.
Okay.
So yeah, yes and no. But like you said, I do wear it out, and obviously I'm okay with that. It is what it is.
When you've got all this massive amount of hair here, it does draw the attention to the scalp exposure, right? Because you see all the dark hair and you see all the wildness here, and then you see the hairline, don't you? So I'm guessing when that's gone, that won't look as apparent, right? Personally, I don't think it will. If we're thinking of the same Brad Pitt images, is it the ones where it's like that kind of medium length and it's kind of pushed back a bit, like the World War Z kind of? Yeah.
Exactly, that's the one.
Okay. Now he is just blessed with a great hairline. I think he is. I don't know, but I think he is. So I think what you'd probably be wanting to do is do something similar to that, but just having it a bit more parted, I would say, just pushing back like this, because I think that would help. Because I think when you pull it straight back, there's not much you can do. There's not much you can do. I mean, I think we're better just getting rid of the length and seeing where we get to at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a few little things down here I can help you with as well, like, you know, the little curly sideburns and stuff. We can get rid of them and make it a little smarter of a finish as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because I heard you mention at the start, you mentioned something about looking a bit smarter.
Yeah.
So that will instantly help. And one of the main things is get rid of a lot of this chunk of dry, damaged hair. Get you a new routine. Give you some advice on what you can do to help with your hairline. And then obviously go from there and see what we can do.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. When did you first notice your hair loss then, Ben?
I think I always knew I had a limited time with what I had, but when I put those dreads in, like an idiot, the main one was right at the front.
Oh, okay.
And as I was getting it trimmed up, like wherever I was, getting the sides shaved, he took a Gillette to like the little hairs around it.
Oh, wow.
So it made it look a lot more severe than what it was. So I think that was probably the first time where I thought, yeah, you've probably done more damage than it's worth.
How long ago was this?
2014.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, 10 years.
That was 10 years ago, yeah?
10 years.
Okay. And have you ever looked at any ways to try and help any of the hair loss? Have you been looking into medical interventions or anything like that at all?
I've used, I think it's that manual spray right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not consistently enough. I didn't use it as instructed.
Okay. I think, you know, the thing is, if you were to use, you know, like say, you know, something, well, I mean, anything like, you know, think about where we've just been there in Fight Zone, you know, discipline and consistency, what does that lead to, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with anything really, isn't it? It's diet, whether it's hair products, whether it's hair loss treatments, it's pretty much anything. If it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's, you know, it's everything really, isn't it? It's if you consistently do something and you discipline yourself, you'll get good. You'll get good at it and you get the results, right? They do work with consistent use. That's the thing. So I think you already know what to do.
I don't know what it is. I think it's, but this now feels like having these chats and being in the space with you guys. It makes it feel something like a little bit more, I don't know, more of an attractive thing to be keeping up with and achieving.
We're just two guys having a chat about hair loss, right? We're not reinventing the wheel or nothing, are we? You know, we're just having a chat. But I think it's I think when you hear it from someone else and you kind of you openly say it out loud, I think that's when it becomes real, isn't it? Thank you to the sponsor of this video and mini-series, Manual. After the success of our Talking Hair Loss series, we wanted to do something a little bit different this summer. And this summer we wanted to film 4 new episodes that stand out and are a little bit different than our usual episodes. And once again, Manual were kind enough to support us and once again bring it to the channel. If you don't know, Manual are a British company dedicated to becoming the destination for men's health. Manual offer tailored and medically approved treatments for a variety of issues specifically for men's health. And it's the hair loss treatments we're talking about today. The best thing about it all, it's all online. You visit the website, you answer a questionnaire about your medical history and receive a treatment recommendation. Your information goes to a specialist doctor on the platform, and from there you're consulted on a specific treatment plan for your case. You receive the products at home on a recurring basis with a medical follow-up throughout. Manual have also been kind enough to offer you a discount to celebrate the series on the channel. The code's on the screen now, but it's also in the description if you miss it, and the link to follow is also in the description. Click that to find out more about Manual and their hair loss treatments. And thanks again to Manual for bringing this mini-series to our channel. There's some great videos in this series, so make sure you subscribe, give us a like, and don't forget, comment and let us know what you think. Now, back to the video. tiny little lens. But if you can, just let it dry naturally. The best thing you can. All right.
It's thicker.
Doesn't
I know
it?
it's not, but it looks thicker.
And that's it.
It looks gorgeous.
Looks nice, doesn't it, man?
Healthy, yeah.
So if you keep on top of that,
Yeah.
right, try out some of the interventions, and let's see, because that hairline is still there. You could definitely strengthen that up. It's still there.
This
You know what I mean? It
time,
hasn't
yeah.
gone. Speak to have a consultation with the guys from Manual. See if it's something that you'd like to do, something you want to go ahead with. But I've seen that many times, and I've seen that reversed many times as well. So just bear that in mind. All right, man?
Oh, well.
Thanks, Ben. That was awesome, mate. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Just looks a lot healthier, feels healthier, and like at the front it feels a bit thicker.
Yeah.
So
especially when you're at this angle here, it looks like a straight hairline.
yeah, which obviously.
Get what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it did before, just because it's just healthier. Thanks very much.
Brilliant.
Cheers,
Thank
Ben.
you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
very
mate.
much.
Thank you. So now we're going to meet Johan. Hey, man. How are you doing? You alright?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. How was the session? It looked amazing.
Sorry.
Well, mate, the seat's all yours, man. Have a seat. Jump on, buddy. There we go. Excellent. Perfect. So, Johan, so you're getting put through your paces in jiu-jitsu. Do you want to put me through my paces and tell me what I can do for you with your hair loss, man? So what have you noticed? Have you noticed any hair loss at all? Or?
Yeah, I think for me, I'd noticed the side of my hair kind of pulling away from where it had been and getting a lot thinner.
Oh, right. Okay. Around the temple area?
Yeah, around the temple.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've really struggled to kind of grow any hair or regrow the hair I had there. So sometimes it's led me to kind of go for lower cuts so that this isn't kind of visible.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't tend to brush my hair forward anymore. I always just try to pull it back. So
Pull it back.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not uncommon, to be honest. I've saw a lot of guys who have grown their hair out long and these bits just stop growing for some reason. When was this that you noticed the hair loss happening?
I noticed it about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It started sort of getting thinner.
Yeah.
And then I noticed it just wasn't coming back to where it was.
Okay.
And then from then, I just...
Was this after haircuts? Would you notice this? Also?
Yeah. I used to
Okay.
cut my hair quite often, once a week.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then
it's normal.
After I started getting a bit nervous and I just took that kind of tempo down and now I'm not cutting my hair as frequently.
Oh, right, okay. So it's had a bit of a lasting effect then, really, hasn't it? Yeah, okay. You can see a slight difference on the hairline when if I'm looking at it like this now, if I put my fingers in the mirror, you'll be able to... So I can put my fingers in the mirror. So if I put my fingers on your hairline and we look in the mirror, you'll be able to see the difference, okay? So let's just do it, especially for the camera, right? If I put it where it's strongest is there, and I put this side where it's strongest there, you can see it's gone back a little bit further, hasn't it? If you look where that comes down to there, that comes down to there.
Yeah.
It's quite a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not, I'll be honest with you, when I saw you, I was thinking, I don't notice as much hair loss, but then it's not always about the visible hair loss that you see. It's about things that have happened and that you have to be pointed out, because it still is hair loss to you,
Yeah.
regardless whether it's right back here at the crown, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Yours is the temples. Now, again, it's common. The only thing is, though, is that it's very hard to work with other than trying to match both sides. That's the hardest thing about it when you start losing it on the temples. It's very common to go grey on the temples as well. That's where my grey started.
Okay.
So the temples just seem to be a weaker part of a hairline, you know, through here. So it is common. Don't think it's uncommon, okay? It obviously still isn't a nice thing for you to do. So in terms of, obviously, haircut, what would you like to do with your haircut then? Obviously, I know you've said it's been quite a big thing for you. What would you like to do, or what have you been doing that I can help you with the haircut?
So in terms of what I've been doing, I've always gotten sort of one height low.
Just one length all over?
One length all over, quite low. But I'm open to experimenting.
The thing is, I'm inclined to suggest you keeping the hairline as natural as possible, right? I don't know whether it's worth shaping or doing anything too drastic to it, because whatever I'm going to do to try and match up and make the hairline symmetrical, I'm going to have to push something back. So if you look, when you put the comb on the sides, we need to keep more hair in this corner here. So I feel like we need to sort of square off the top as best we can. So what I'd probably be inclined to suggest you do is, if we can pull it out, see the true length of the hair, cut it a little bit shorter through the middle if we can, and then try and get a slightly squarer finish on these corners, and then just, again, you can pick the sides and the back, whatever length you'd like to go to. And I can just build it up that way for you. So I think we should try and leave as much as we can, sort of in these areas here, take this middle bit down as best we can, and just start to square that top off a little touch. I honestly think as soon as you start to see the sides come in, and you see that little bit of darkness and weight through here, the difference in the face shape is really noticeable. In terms of the back and side length, what length do you like to go to? Or what length have you been normally getting done?
Normally I go very close to skin. Okay. But it's not skin.
Yeah, yeah. Like a one width or yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I think that's probably quite a good length actually. And we can just build it up. The shorter we go around the bottom here, the more length we can keep on top. But let's get the cut in. I'm going to cut the top in first. I'm going to work down through the back and sides, getting more of a nice graduation in there. Cool. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Sweet. What is it you do yourself then?
I work at the Treasury. I'm an economist.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice. So can you tell me when you first started noticing this sudden bit of hair loss?
I think it was around 4 or 5 years ago. Been pointed out to me by my sister as a joke. Where she started talking about, I'm gonna kind of lose my hair like my dad. Then I started actually looking at what was happening, and I could see kind of like a regression. And then it just progressively kind of kept, I guess, pulling away. Because I've always naturally had quite a kind of low placed hairline. And yeah, over the years, it's just pushing back. And then the sides especially started getting thin, and then they stopped kind of growing how they had done before.
They had done before, yeah. Was this something that you were like super conscious of straight away? Like, was it something that you saw and you couldn't unsee it? One of those ones, yeah.
Yeah, it was something that I would actively kind of try to see what I could do to stop it.
Yeah. So thinking obviously in terms of Johan's hair loss, again, like I sort of said at the start, it's not something that I would look at and go, wow, you've got hair loss, you know, but it's your own personal experience of hair loss. Hair loss isn't always about recession points and crowns and, you know, anything like that. It can be just a little bit of hair loss somewhere within the head, right? It doesn't always have to be the common places. And again, it plays a big part in how you feel, how it affects you. And again, it's never a good thing to hear or see when somebody is experiencing some sort of hair loss, especially in a place which is obviously not as common, you know. And in that sort of four year mark, did you notice it getting sort of worse before it kind of got? Did you notice it getting better at any point, or it just always seems to be staying the same?
I think it's getting a little bit worse, but at a slower rate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I'm maybe now more conscious of it, so I'm trying to actively slow it down.
Yeah, I get you. Would you say it's affected you in any way? Would you say it's changed how you feel about certain things, or would you say it's affected your mood or your personality in any way? Yeah, for sure. Because it's not as pronounced as what you might see in other people.
My feelings haven't been, like, it hasn't really affected my confidence or my mental health, but what it has done, it's just made me constantly think about it.
Yeah.
And it causes like anxiety where I'm just worried about sort of something that hasn't happened yet, but that I kind of like anticipate will.
Yeah.
So it's just a really strange feeling. It just takes over your mind where I'm constantly kind of thinking about, you know, how do I prevent this? And it's also caused me to not necessarily get haircuts in the frequency that I would have done before. I could turn around to you and say, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal, it doesn't look that bad, but then again, I'm not the one seeing it or feeling it on a daily basis, you know what I mean? You're the one obviously noticing it, even though it is only small, you're still noticing it yourself, right? And that's the thing we've got to kind of change, right? Is how you're noticing it. And that's a hard one, because that's all down to how you perceive it and see it yourself, you know what I mean? So good little tip for the haircut though is, again, keeping the blend nice and low, so you're showing scalp exposure low down, right? The lower down the scalp exposure, the more you can pull this out and the darker it looks. Like if you look at that and you pull that out and then flatten it down, look how much more fuller that looks as well. Oh yeah. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't look like the same, the other side's exactly the same, even though that bit hasn't been taken away yet. Yeah. Do you think there are maybe differences in terms of how hair loss kind of occurs based on like your hair texture?
No, not that I've ever come across. No. One thing I did notice, I was talking to one of the guys who works at Manual, and I was on a podcast with him, and he was telling me that he had some hair loss, and then when it grew back, when he was starting to lose his hair, it started going straight, and he's got textured hair like yourself, and he started to notice his hair was going straight.
Oh wow!
Which he was just thinking, what's going on? He started saying his barber was doing it, you know, which I thought was quite funny. He started blaming his barber, and his barber was like, I'm not doing anything to your hair, mate. That's just your hair. And it's only because it was going straight is how he knew he started having hair loss. How crazy is that? That way you've got a really strong hairline, both sides.
Oh yeah.
Can you see? And again, if you wanted to, you could obviously, if you want to put like, say, a little bit more of a twist through the top, or you can keep it full, that's just down to your own personal preference, you know, whatever you like to do.
I always thought, because the sides are a bit kind of pulled back, leaving anything on top would make me look a bit like Marge Simpson or something.
And then look at that side.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't look any different, does it?
Yeah.
It almost looks stronger.
Looks exactly, it's even, and you're right.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So just pull that out more than push it back. Literally just puck it out like this.
That's incredible.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never actually seen myself from the side.
Oh, you will now, mate. You will on this video. You see yourself from every angle in the jiu-jitsu, mate, I'll tell you that.
Appreciate you, man.
You're welcome.